Hello, eager learners, and welcome to week 5. More fun coming our way as we jump into more excellent readings and we get to do some poetry, which is awesome. Poetry can be hard. I get that. There's a lot of nuance to it. There's a lot of kind of wishy-washy personal interpretation, but also that's kind of what makes it fun because we get to experience it on that personal level. What does the poem say to you based on your personal experience, based on your schema, the way your brain works, your life experiences, the way you perceive people and interactions? All of that plays a huge role in how we understand poetry. So as we get started with this week, as always, they're organized the same all the weeks. What varies is what we read, but the structure stays consistent. I strongly encourage you to read the response instructions early. So if you're not happy with your response grade, you get to revise it if you want to. So make sure that you're checking in on those early in the week so that you have time to submit those revisions if you wish. Because at some point we can't submit them because it's too long past. But if you're not initially happy with those grades, please know that you have a chance to revise. Yay! Our grades can be even better than they already are. If you haven't already picked your novel for analysis, which you should have, because last week you needed to post what novel you wanted to read. But for those of you who maybe didn't do that, make sure you pick your novel. You should definitely get started on that. Hopefully you all are reading through it. And this gives you lots of time to finish. So if you know you're a slow reader, start reading now because you're going to have to turn this in at the end of the quarter. We're getting closer to that. So make sure you're setting yourself up for success, even if you're just reading one chapter a day or 10 pages a day, whatever you know that you're capable of doing, mark that out on a calendar, set yourself up for success so that you can do really well on this assignment, finish out that novel, have that essay done, and be able to get that large chunk of points because it is a substantial assignment. So please make sure you're working towards that. I don't want this to be a surprise to anyone. I know we've talked about it many times, but I just want to make sure that we all have a really good chance to be successful here. So please start reading your books. Okay, that being said, we are going to move on to what we're doing this week. We get to read some more poetry. Hooray, we love it. We get to read the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, which is an iconic poem. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it. It's iconic. I think it's really fun because the way that he plays with words is it's poetic, it's beautiful, but also there's a lot of humor in it that I think we can identify with. In the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, Eliot's kind of like dealing with growing old, he's dealing with the passage of time, he's dealing with unrequited love, he's dealing with how friendships evolve, how life's purpose evolves. All of that are things that I think we can identify with. Gosh, I know I sure do. But the language with which he talks about these things, I think is beautiful. Like he's got this line where he's like getting ready to go out for the day. And he's like, I need to prepare a face to meet the faces that I'm going to meet. And so I don't know if anyone else has felt that way, but like getting ready for the day, you're like, all right, I get to see people I love. So I don't have to impress them. I can just have my true face on. Or if you know you're going into battle, whether it's at work or a difficult conversation you have to have or some kind of competition, you're like, game face, I got to get that on. So it's a different face you wear for that group of people. And so I love his way of describing that, where he's like, it's a face to meet the other faces that you're going to meet during the day. And you're like, yes, I get that. I love that. So A Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock is just a cool poem. It's kind of a long poem, but it's a really cool poem. I hope you enjoy it. It's super fun. Tuesday, we get to read some more poems, a large variety by a ton of really excellent authors. So you guys are in for a treat. And then we're going to be working on responses, taking our quizzes, turning in that quiz by Friday, and submitting those responses by Sunday. By this point, you guys kind of know the drill, like how the week goes, how everything goes. That's what we're going to be doing this week. And as always, if you go into the modules tab, you've got everything you need to be successful. So you go into the week 5 folder, we've got our readings, we've got our quiz, we've got our discussion, we've got our instructions, everything you need to be successful right there. So make sure you're taking advantage of those resources. Enjoy reading your novel, enjoy the poetry, And I hope you guys have a great week.